What's up agents, Epic Slayers here. Today we're going to talk about survival in the Division 2 at launch, and we're also going to talk about game modes which have kind of been confirmed by Julian Gerighty, who's the creative director for Ubisoft, that will not be in the launch of the Division 2, and that would include Underground, Last Stand for example. So if you enjoy this video, drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into the video. So first off agents, I want to start out with a question which I want you to answer in the comments down below. If you had to pick one game mode from the Division, what would it be to take over to the Division 2? I would assume most people are going to say survival, and there's a number of reasons for that. The first reason that I can think of is because survival is one of the most unique experiences that I've ever experienced in a game before. It pits your wits against the cold, against dying of hunger, dying of water, dying against AI. If you're playing in the PvP mode, then it pits your wits against other people who are also trying to get to the Dark Zone and extract their loot. And it also pits you against the hardest enemy within the Division, the Hunter, when you finally reach the Dark Zone and manage to get the helicopter to come in. That's one of the main reasons why survival was probably the most popular Division game mode when it first came out, and it's at least the most unique experience I've experienced in any game before. You're looking at about an hour and a half, well maybe not an hour and a half, but if you really want to extend it, you're looking at about an hour in the survival game mode, and there is no other experience like it. So that's one reason. The second reason for it being so unbelievably good is because it has everything you want from a survival type game mode. You start off with nothing. You've got the cold against you, which you have to find warmth. You've got this infection, which starts off at an hour, and then you can find painkillers and medicine which slow down the virus, giving you more time to collect loot, and ultimately the end goal being that you need to get to the Dark Zone and extract all your items. But this takes place over quite a long time, and you roam around the map in pretty horrendous conditions, as you'll see in this video. Of course, you roam around the map in pretty horrendous conditions. You start off with like a pistol. You have to get warmth, or you have to get clothes in order to keep yourself warm. And it's got, as I said, it's got everything you'd want from a survival game mode. So I am expecting most people to say that survival will be the game mode they'd want to see in the Division 2. Of course, you have other game modes like Underground, which again is fairly unique to the Division, and then we've got Last Stand and Survival, which is basically PvP modes, and you can find similar PvP modes like that in other games. So yeah, that's the reason why survival is so popular, and that's the reason why I'm expecting pretty much all of you to say that survival will be the one game mode you want to see in the Division 2. So with the release of the Division 2 trailer and then subsequent news at E3, we never had any confirmation that survival will be coming out in the Division 2. Julian Gerighty has confirmed that some game modes such as Underground, Resistance, Survival, and even Last Stand will not be in the Division 2 at launch, but they've not excluded them altogether. And if there's one game mode that I know Julian Gerighty would have at launch for the Division 2, it would be Survival, because I know that he is very fond of that particular game mode. Now, what's your opinion of that? I mean, my opinion is that I don't want the Division to go down, or the Division 2 to go down the road of Destiny 2, where they pretty much remove all the stuff that made the Division, or in Destiny's case, what made Destiny. I don't want them removing all of that and basically us starting again with the Division 2. I don't want that. I don't want there to be one PvP mode within the Division 2 and one Resistance type PvP mode, or sorry, PvE mode within the Division 2. I really think that would kill the game unless the end game is as they say it is. If the end game lives up to what we believe it should be, we do know that they've put a lot of focus on the end game with the Division 2, with the raids coming out. My understanding is the raids are going to come out a couple of weeks after launch to allow players the time in order to get themselves together and get the gear needed to actually go into these raids and be successful. But if that doesn't live up to the hype that surrounded it, and it's not as good as what we expect it to be, then we are going to need other game modes within the game to keep us interested. And it wouldn't be good if they just had one PvP mode and one PvE mode. So that's my real concern with this. If they are removing modes like Underground, Resistance, Survival, and even Last Stand, then that's a lot of game modes that we had in the Division 1, which is keeping us busy at this point, that will not be in the Division 2. And the novelty of the Division 2 being fresh and new will wear out after a couple of weeks, especially for hardcore players like myself, and even for casual players who will be looking for something a little bit different. So that's my major concern. Again, I want you guys to get involved. You leave your comments down below. What's your thoughts on removing these game modes from the initial launch? Now, we do know we are getting free planned DLCs throughout year 1 of the Division 2. All of these are going to be free as well. So it may be that they can't add it straight away simply due to the size of the Division 2. The reason they've said that they possibly won't be there at launch is because the Division 2 is a much bigger project than the Division 1. The map size in general is already bigger, and there are stuff, you know, there's a lot of stuff planned for the Division 2, which is a lot bigger than what the Division 1 had. So that's the reason why they might not be in there at launch. But what I would expect, if they're not, is that these game modes are quickly implemented over the next three DLCs, which are going to be coming out throughout the year. And they're going to be free of charge, unlike Destiny 2, where we had heroic strikes in the Destiny 1, they removed it for Destiny 2, and then you had to pay for a DLC in order to have those same heroic strikes. We don't want that, and I'm pretty sure Massive won't do that. I mean, after 3 years of playing with the Division, they know the community, and to be honest, they didn't have any loop, or they didn't have any microtransaction based stuff in the Division 1, which really impacted the game. It was just vanity stuff, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get that in the Division 2. So really that was it, guys. I just wanted to talk about survival. Of course, in the background I have some survival gameplay. I haven't played survival for a very long time, but when I play it, I really do enjoy it. And I am hoping that survival will be in the launch of the Division 2, as I'm hoping somewhat like Underground or Resistance will be in there. And it makes sense that we have a lot more PvE stuff for the Division 2 when it's launched, because the majority of the Division community is PvE sort of based. But I would, of course, like to see some sort of PvP modes. And once we get any details about possible PvE modes that we don't already know about, aside from raids, of course, or PvP modes, then I will, of course, let you know. So thank you very much for watching the video. Hopefully you did enjoy it. And until the next one, Epic out.